Hello. Before we start the video, I'd like to tell you that I shall be referring to the cards as their box number, set number and their actual name, for ease of searching the cards and avoid confusion. As an example, I shall be referring to the card on the screen as BT5007 Agumon. Let's head into the video. Game flow. Unsuspend phase. You start your turn in the unsuspend phase. You unsuspend every suspended card that you can unsuspend. A reason why you couldn't unsuspend a card is an effect like the BT5058 Agumon's effect that doesn't allow you to unsuspend Tamers. Otherwise, if there's no effect stopping you from unsuspending anything, unsuspend all of your cards. But what are the suspended and unsuspended statuses? If your card is vertical, they're unsuspended. If they're horizontal, they're suspended. Like tapping in Magic the Gathering. Cards enter the field unsuspended. Cards can be suspended and unsuspended for several reasons. Examples that can suspend cards are: declaring an attack. It's the requirement to activate an effect. The opponent activated an effect that suspends the card. Examples that can unsuspend cards are: it's the unsuspending phase. An effect caused the card to unsuspend. Draw phase. You get to draw a card during this phase. If you have no cards that you can draw during your draw phase, you lose. If you're going first, you're not allowed to draw. Breeding phase. You can only do one of these three actions. You can hatch a Digi egg. There can only be one Digi egg hatched at a time in the breeding area. To hatch, you reveal the topmost card of your Digi egg deck and put it next to the deck. Move a Digimon out of the breeding area, can only be moved if its level is 3 or more. This does not trigger on-play effects and does not have summoning sickness. Do nothing, you can just skip this phase. Once you perform one of these actions, you move to the next phase. Main phase. The meat and potatoes of the game. Here you can do mostly anything as long as you have memory to do so. I'm going to explain what you can do in the main phase, and you can do any of these things in any order as long as you have memory for it, or an effect doesn't stop you from doing it. The things you can do are: playing a Digimon. To play a Digimon you must pay its play cost, stated in the top left corner of the card. You place the card in the battle area unsuspended with summoning sickness. Digimon with the keyword rush enter the battle area without summoning sickness. There's no limit to how many Digimon there can be in the battle area. But what is summoning sickness? Just like other card games, in Digimon card game, you cannot attack with a Digimon in the turn that was placed in the battle area. It doesn't matter that it came from your hand, the deck, security stack, the trash, or even from the Digivolution stack of another Digimon. That Digimon that just entered the battle area has summoning sickness and therefore cannot attack. The only exceptions are Digimon that enter the battle area through the breeding area, or Digimon that enter the battle area with certain effects, such as the case of Digimon with the keyword rush, like the BT4038 Bushy Agumon and the BT6075 Ginkakuman Promote. Some Digimon can also give rush to other Digimon, just like how the BT4087A Nubishman gives rush to Digimon that were placed into the battle area from your trash. As a side note, keep in mind that you still need to be in your turn to attack with Digimon that have rush. If you played a Bushy Agumon and the memory cost was bigger than the memory you had available, then you don't get to attack. The only thing that rush does is prevent summoning sickness, not attacking on your opponent's turn. Digivolving. To Digivolve, you simply place your card on top of the Digimon you want to Digivolve. Granted, you have the card in your hand. There are effects that allow to break this rule, but for the sake of simplicity, the tutorial will not cover those. To Digivolve, you need to respect the requirements. You cannot Digivolve this ST103 Agumon into the BT2035 Geo Greymon, because Geo Greymon requires a level 3 yellow Digimon, and ST103 Agumon is a level 3 Digimon but is red. You could however Digivolve the ST103 Agumon into the BT5010 Greymon because Greymon requires a level 3 red Digimon. If you're trying to Digivolve a Digimon into a card like the BT4017 Rise Greymon, you only need to satisfy one of the requirements, not both. Meaning you could Digivolve either a red level 4 or a yellow level 4 Digimon into Rise Greymon. When you Digivolve, you must draw a card. It isn't optional. You can Digivolve both in the battle area and in the breeding area. The when Digivolving timing triggers when you Digivolve in the battle area, not in the breeding area. Digivolving does not count as playing, therefore on-play effects do not trigger. Playing Tamers. Place them in the battle area unsuspended and then pay their cost. There's no limit to how many you can have in the battle area. Using option cards. You can only play an option card if you have a Tamer, a Digimon or a Digi-Egg on the field that matches the color of your option card. This is called meeting the color requirements of a card. Digi-Eggs face up in the breeding area also count towards the color requirements. Any card that you currently see on the field would fulfill the color requirements of the ST116 Gaia Force because they are all red. The BT4017 Rise Greymon would allow you to play both yellow and red option cards because Rise Greymon has the effect where it is also yellow during your turn. But none of these cards would fulfill the color requirements of any other colors. There are option cards that break this rule like the X1071 win rate 60%, which if you have a Tamer of any color in play, you may use this option card and ignore its color requirements. Option cards on the field do not count towards fulfilling other option cards' color requirements. The reason for that is simple. It's what is written in the rule book. Although Bandai has created option cards that remain on the field, Bandai have chosen to keep it limited to Digimon, Digi-Eggs and Tamers. Bandai even went as far as to clarify this in their rulings Q&A, as you can see on the screen. To play the option card, you pay its cost and place it in the battle area. An option card that gets checked in the security does not need to meet the color requirements, it simply gets checked and its effects resolve. Checking an option card in security doesn't count as you, the player, using it. After the card is used or is checked in the security, it gets sent to the trash, unless the card states that you must put it elsewhere, in which case you do so. As an example, when the BT6100 reinforcing memory boost gets checked in security or is played from your hand, the card remains in the battle area until you decide to activate it again. Cards like the BT3097 A Delicate Plan are sent to your hand if they are checked in the security, and if you use it from your hand it gets sent to the trash afterwards. Attacking. To declare an attack, you must first suspend your Digimon. Declare if you want to attack your opponent or one of your opponent's suspended Digimon. You cannot attack unsuspended Digimon. If you attack a Digimon, you both compare DP values. The highest wins, the lowest is deleted and sent to trash. Digimon cannot have their DP reduced by battle, only by card effects. What it means is that if a Digimon with 5000 DP and Digimon with 7000 DP battle each other, the Digimon with 7000 DP remains at 7000 instead of going to 2000 DP. If a card effect reduces a Digimon's DP to 0, that Digimon is deleted and sent to the trash. This doesn't count as being deleted by a card effect, since it's a rule that is deleting the Digimon. A draw results in both Digimon getting deleted. If you decide to attack your opponent, they check their security cards. When a security card is checked, its effects are not activated unless it's a security effect. Digimon in the security stack are treated as security Digimon, thus are not affected by effects that target Digimon unless stated security Digimon. Security Digimon battle the attacking Digimon, the same rules as regular battling apply. Security Digimon get sent to the trash regardless of the outcome unless they have a security effect that sends them elsewhere. When a Digimon checks security, they check one and only one card, unless they have a skill called Security Check Plus. Hello. I'm sorry for pausing the video, only after really late into the editing have I noticed that I dubbed the effect security check instead of security attack. The correct name of the effect is security attack. Although the narrator is pronouncing the name wrongly, the subtitles were corrected to display the correct name. Please keep this in mind while watching the rest of the video. And before we continue, I have also noticed that over 60% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed. I just wanted to point that out. That is all. In which case they get to check one card plus as many cards as security checks they have. As an example, the SD111 Wargreymon gets security check +1 for every 2 cards in its Digivolution stack. This means that if they have 6 cards in their stack, then they get +3 checks, making a total of 4 checks because every Digimon starts with a base of 1 check. If a Digimon that has more than a security check gets deleted or moved elsewhere in the field before all of their checks go through, the checks do not continue. Going back to the Wargreymon got to the 2nd check, and it checked Cocytus Breath. Cocytus Breath sends a Digimon back to the owner's hand. Wargreymon gets sent back to the hand, and because Wargreymon is no longer on the field, the next 2 checks aren't performed. There are other effects that bend attack rules. Keep an eye out for them. Ending your turn. You can end your turn in 2 ways. You can either pass your turn, or you consume enough memory to pass the turn. To pass your turn, you simply declare that you're passing your turn. Then your opponent automatically starts with 3 memory, regardless of how much memory you had before you passed. This means that if you pass with 5, 7 or even 10 unspent memory, your opponent will always start their turn with 3 memory. Alternatively, if the memory counter goes to your opponent's side, and it stays on your opponent's side after all effects have been resolved, your turn ends and your opponent starts with that much memory. Like it was explained before in the memory portion of this tutorial series, ending the game. The game ends when a player gets attacked directly with no security cards in their stack, cannot draw any more cards during their draw phase, concedes the game to the opponent. There are other ways you could either win or lose the game, but these are more specific to a tournament scenario, which the tutorial will not cover. If you think you could use more information or that this video format wasn't satisfying enough, I strongly recommend downloading the tutorial app for your smartphone, available on both Android and iOS. Or you could check out Bandai's official rulebook. Links down in the description below. Thanks for watching.
Hey, old man, give me everything.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me!